Here we are. This is a Google Colab Notebook. This is just a tutorial to show you the basics and how to use a Colab Notebook. I'm using Stable Diffusion as an example. It does make art, animation, and can animate on video and film. It's pretty great. This tutorial is just for people who've been asking me about Google Colab Notebooks. There's a ton more tutorials that dive a lot deeper. I'm going to show you the basics so you can use this if you want to start using my other tutorials, which really go deeper into different settings, etc. So here we are. Colab Notebook. I just changed the name. A link will be in the description if you want to follow along. You could download directly, otherwise Google Stable Diffusion, you'll find the Colab Notebook. So I usually tick on this right off the bat. It just gives me more of a view, but you see it's credits this and that, it's great. Katherine, Crowson, your code is amazing. Thank you so much, but we don't need to see that right now. And delete all that. Okay, now how this works is you take these little play circles. So there's a code inside of here. It's going to run the code. Tutorial, we don't need that right now. You can ignore that. Now we're going to check the GPU status because this all runs in the cloud by Google. I have a Pro Plus account, which costs a monthly fee, but you can do all this for free. I recommend the regular Pro account, which speeds things up, but I mean, you could do all this 100% free and see. Oh wow, I got the A100. This is the mythical unicorn of GPUs. I've been able to get it twice this week, but it's extremely rare. You can only get it with the Pro Plus, unfortunately, but we're not gonna get into that anyway. So we tick this box, go down. Now you're going this link, your Google Drive, and it'll pop up in a second. Mine is common sense made simple. Just go down, allow permission. So this will save everything in your drive, which you can see from here, it's all doing all that. But now, just tick on that, tick on this one, tick on this one, tick this one. And now this is where it make it confusing if you're not a programmer. You start seeing all this code, and that's the best thing about Google Colab Notebooks. The code is put into forms here, which makes everything more understandable. I double clicked on that, and now it brings me to the basics. Like I said, we're not going to go over the exact settings for all this. I have other Stable Diffusion tutorials if you want to dive deeper into that. But so just going to tick that to get it started. So now just ignore all this stuff. No more code here, double click there, tick that again, more code, double click that. I'm going to run everything at default settings just to show you how to use a notebook in general. Not specifically Stable Diffusion, but if you want to play with it, it's 100% free. So let's tick on the basic settings. These aren't important right now. Animation, as you can see, it does 2D animation, 3D animation. You could put it in video and animate over it. I mean, it's really cool, it's really fun. We're going to keep it at none, which will create images for right now. Tick that, see how it's getting a green check. That means you're all good. Scroll down, and now this is all additional stuff. What you really don't have to tick, but I'm just going to click on it anyways, just to double check. I don't like leaving sections undone because sometimes the code won't connect. You can open it up, see all that, but you could just skip to here and this will check off all the cells at once since we're not adjusting the settings. That is fine. Now prompting, if you're familiar with prompting in dall-E 2 and now Stable Diffusion, everything like that, Midjourney, this is where you really get the term or art genre text prompt engineer has come around. The same way as in the past, someone might say, I'm an oil painter. You decide on the ethics on your own, but we're going to leave it. Defaults, obviously, you can type whatever you want. A butterfly and the moon in space, blah, 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 by this artist, trending on ArtStation. These are all the common typical things people use. There's so many options. Use your imagination. So we're just gonna tick on that, almost there. And it looks like, see, we have everything here. You'll click on this, it'll make the image. Depending on the GPUs, how fast it's really gonna work, So I have the A100, so I'm actually shocked it's taking this long. I think I forgot to reboot it, but I'll tell you right here at the bottom, it tells you the time, 6, 17, 18, 19 seconds. I'll speed this part up because it takes too long. Just trying to get this done as fast as possible for you so you can get to the more interesting parts. Now you see, all right, that's why I had it set to 50 batches which is shit. That's why. See, I had set to 50 batches, which is going to make 50 of these images. You don't want that. I'll just rerun it really quick. But this is the quickest way to run a notebook, in my opinion. There's additional things you could do. Now it's running one image, and you see it now. It's taking steps here. You can lower this. Number 240 is kind of overkill in my opinion, but I'm not really big on making AI images through Disco Diffusion. I use it more for animation or rotoscoping. Like I said earlier, I have tutorials on all that. I'll try to put a link right now, and I'm working on a Stable Diffusion tutorial, which is the current code that I personally think is better than dall-E 2 and Midjourney and Disco Diffusion and everything else out there currently that a lot of people are using, but they're forced to use paid apps to do it. So I mean, personally, learning this simple thing as a Google Colab Notebook, you can do everything direct. You have a lot more control. It's free, and you don't have to worry about filters. I mean, I think dall-E 2 and all that, if you type the wrong word, you can get kicked out, and you have to pay for it. So on top of it, even if you get kicked out. So I'll speed this part up. Now, okay, speed up. And that went a lot slower than I remember, but it's been a while since I've messed with this notebook. I only use Disco Diffusion really for animation and rotoscoping video, but look at that. You made your first AI art piece. You can make an NFT, get that space money, start traveling the galaxy or whatever people do with NFTs these days. I'm still kind of out of the loop on all that, but all right, there you go. You pretty much just went through, you clicked everything, and if you're looking for more in-depth tutorials on this, there's a ton out there, you know, for just creating AI art in general. I mean, of course, mine are the best. If you want to go somewhere else, that's on you. I'm going to be doing some on Stable Diffusion, which is a bit more advanced than this. I have my animation and video input tutorials using Disco Diffusion out now. If you want to have a look, I hope you try them out when you're ready to move on. One last tip, I forgot, is if you want to speed things up, you can go to a change runtime and see it's standard. You can make it high RAM. The thing about that is if you don't have a Pro account or Pro Plus, sometimes you might use up all your memory and you'll get errors and all types of madness. But overall, that's it. I hope this helps you out. This is not my typical type of tutorial, nor do I make them this style. I just want to help people that were asking questions about Google Colab Notebooks and when they're using my other tutorials using notebooks. So I made it for them, and if you're here, then I made it just for you too. I hope you have a great day. You know, tag me if you make anything from this. I'd love to see what you create in any sort of manner, and you know, have a great day or night or whatever. Goodbye.
iamYork.com